What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today I want to talk about a rumor or a little bit of some buzz that was going around about Luke Schenn. And there's obviously going to be a ton of trade rumors and trade talk going on as we get closer to the, I believe, March 21st NHL trade deadline. So if you are a Leaf fan and you love news and rumors and trade talk and live streams about this types of stuff, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd love to have you guys here. Tons of videos on the way, and I think there's some great content that you guys can check out already on the channel right now, so make sure to do that. It's completely free to like and subscribe, but I don't want to waste any more time because this is the initial tweet that Taj 1944 tweeted out. So the Donnie and Dolly show, Rick Dhaliwal was talking about the fact that some believe the Leafs have interest in Luke Schenn. Now, I've quoted Rick Dhaliwal before on this channel. I've actually spoken to him a few times. I still want to get him on the channel. We've talked about maybe doing a quick interview or talk on here. And he's been gracious enough to answer a lot of my DMs regarding rumors and trade talk and stuff like that. So when this came out, I immediately messaged him, I DM'd him, and I was like, hey, what's behind this? So this is a little bit taken out of context, to be honest. He said he can't confirm it because it's just people talking. He's heard that the Leafs might have some interest in Luke Schenn because of their interest in Manson, who's another, more physical defenseman. So if they want to get somebody who might be a little bit cheaper to trade for, they might have interest in Luke Schenn. So people are believing if the Leafs are interested in a guy like Manson, that they could potentially be interested in a guy like Luke Schenn. So that's where this is coming from. I messaged him about that. I talked to him about it. I don't like to post DMs and stuff like that because, that's just not professional. But he basically told me that it's just like they might have some interest. But immediately I was kind of like, oh, this could be really good. But then when you really think about it, there's some of this that doesn't make a lot of sense, because if you look at Luke Schenn versus Ben Sherratt, which Canuck Demko's tweeted this out. So if Montreal's looking for a first, why would the Vancouver Canucks trade Luke Schenn and maybe not get maximum value for him? If you're looking at this chart, anything below here isn't the greatest. The left side here is offensive numbers. These are defensive numbers. So Sherratt's not really providing anything in these categories. Yes, he's physical, but Luke Schenn is very physical while also providing good numbers defensively and kind of, just average, depth defenseman type offensive numbers. So it doesn't really make a ton of sense for the Canucks to trade him unless it's actually a pretty decent deal. Now, of course, Schenn is a former Maple Leaf, and there's a bunch of different storylines that you could go with here, but he would be a pretty good upgrade to this team when it comes to their sixth defenseman. Now, this chart here comes from The Athletic. Now, these charts, I know a lot of people don't like when I use these all the time, but he would be the Zach Bogosian type. So his contract right now is basically under $1 million. It's under $1 million, but his market value would be closer to about $4 million. In terms of offensive numbers, you're seeing the gray. It's not too great. But when it comes for his defense, his GSVA, basically that number was, I'll try to read the definition for you guys, but the model uses the last 3 years of data weighted by recency to project box score stats and a few on-ice stats to create a projected game score that is then translated to a win value. So Luke Schenn actually provides a pretty good win value in terms of being a better depth defenseman, being a guy that can provide you value, especially because his contract would be under market value. Because if you look at his deal right now, he's getting paid $850,000 by the Canucks, right-handed, 32 years old, so not old, like he's 32, pretty, still in like the prime of his life. I'm not saying the prime of his playing career, but the guy's won a couple cups with Tampa Bay. He's got a contract for next year at $850,000. it just seems like it would be a perfect move for the Leafs, because if you think their blue line will be even better when Muzzin comes back, now you can add even more depth with a guy like Luke Schenn. A bunch of hits. The guy throws, I think he's got like 126 hits on the season. Very physical, very cheap. Would provide the depth that you need when you're going for the Stanley Cup. But might I show you again? 850 this year, 850 next year. That's a sweetheart contract for a guy that plays really well with your star defenseman, Hughes. Hughes is really, really good when he plays with Schenn, and not the greatest without him. They just fit well together. So for a team like Vancouver, who this year is like 7th in their division, 6th or 7th, we got to check that out. I'm going to check the standings right now. Yeah, they're 7th in their division, in the Pacific Division. They're going to need guys next year that can help them play better, that gives them value for next season. They're going to be better next year. They are. I truly believe the Canucks will be a better team next year. They've got a lot of star power. They've got a lot of young guys. They're probably going to try to upgrade in the offseason in areas that they need if they have the cap space to do it. But it just doesn't make a ton of sense for me in terms of the Canucks, especially if they're going to need that cap space to get rid of a guy that plays well with one of their stars. Like Schenn's playing I think 17 minutes a night. If he came to Toronto, he would immediately be a fantastic depth option for this team. Like we said, the Zach Bogosian type. He would be cheap on the cap. It's just a great match, in my opinion. Like, this is the guy I would go for, especially if the Leafs are going to upgrade at the forward position. If you want a good upgrade at the back end, you don't even have to trade a defenseman to acquire a Luke Schenn. You can just have him as depth, and you cycle through all the defensemen. Play 7D some nights, which the Leafs might be doing pretty soon. So it would just make a lot of sense. But in terms of the Vancouver Canucks, I just don't, in my heart of hearts, see why this would make a ton of sense for them to do, unless they get a very nice trade, package, or just a couple picks back that makes sense for them. Now, mind you, Hughes, who's obviously one of their stars, one of their up and coming guys, big contract. Maybe this is something he goes, hey, listen, you're not getting rid of this guy because I play really well with him. So I can't have you guys trading him because I need to play with this guy. So you have to keep that in mind as well. There's a lot of different elements to this, but just keep an eye on this. I think it's something to be interested in and to look into. But if I hear more, maybe I can provide something. But for now, it's just interest, and it's it's just out there. It's not really something that's concrete as confirmed that there's 100% interest. They want him. I think it would just make sense for them. So again, if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Tons more videos coming, lots of rumor stuff, lots of news stuff. But I appreciate you guys as always, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.